I came across the problem of infinite regress when I saw it being used as a way of showing that time must be finite. Infinite regress states that if an event, E0, is dependent upon event E1, and event E1 is dependent upon event E2, and so on, such that event En is dependent upon event En plus 1, then the original event E0 cannot occur. Now, consider instead an object whose movement is mapped by the equation x equals e to the t minus 1, where x is displacement, t is time, and t is a special constant between 2 and 3. I chose this equation because it has simple derivatives. There are many equations which would have been suitable. In order for there to be any change in this object's displacement, call it dx, there must be a change in the object's speed, dx by dt. But in order for there to be any change in the object's speed, there must be a change in the object's acceleration, d2x by dx squared. And so on, such that in order for there to be any change in derivative of displacement dnx by dt to the n, there must be a change in derivative dn plus 1x by dt to the n plus 1. This has the exact same properties that infinite regress states cannot exist. If we start from the premises that infinite regress is correct, and that moving objects would have the properties I have just described, then we can validly conclude through deductive reasoning that said objects cannot move. However, if you agree with me that it is possible for objects to move in the manner described, then we see that the deductively valid argument arrives at a false conclusion, so the argument must be unsound. In other words, there is a problem with the premises. I believe I have demonstrated the latter premise to be true, that moving objects can have the properties of infinite regress in the derivatives of their motion, so if you agree with me so far, there must be a problem with the problem of infinite regress. I could not say what the problem with infinite regress is. I do not understand the topic well enough to say, but I believe it to be untrue, as I hope I have just convinced you of. Feel free to comment and critique.